Listen to this quote by Zora Neale Hurston, which was the author of Their Eyes Are Watching God. She says, "Sometimes I feel discriminated against, but it doesn't make me angry. It merely astonishes me. How can one deny themselves the pleasure of my company? It's beyond me."
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. If you're returning, it's your girl Cynthia. I'm your favorite poet, back with another video. Hey! Y'all, it is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. We are celebrating Black people over here on my channel. Here's the thing about Black History Month. It's only the shortest month of the year that we get to celebrate Black people. So we should be celebrating Black people all year round, but I recognize that this is the official month dedicated to celebrating Black people. So I am going to be dedicated to bringing you some content to celebrate Black people in the literary arts space. Today, we are talking all about 6 Black writers that you should know about if you don't already know. And if you don't know, now you know. Before we jump into the video, don't forget to smash the subscribe button down below. Give this video a huge thumbs up to let YouTube know that this is the kind of content that you're digging, that you love, okay? Let's go ahead and jump in to celebrating some Black writers, poets, and authors. As a spoken word poet, as a writer myself, seeing people who look like me, who have contributed to my artistic field, was extremely important in my upbringing, as well as when I was looking for different voices to read, different authors to read, as well as just different poets to see. It was hard for me to do a 6-person list, but I want to make sure that I'm keeping these videos short and brief, so I might come back with another one hitter quitter, okay? So some of these writers are popular and famous. Some of them you might have heard of, some of them you might not have heard of. Let's see, who knows? All right, you guys, so the first Black writer that I have on my list is a man, a genius, a legend by the name of Amiri Baraka. Yeah! Amiri Baraka was born in 1934, I believe, in Newark, New Jersey. He was a poet, a writer, a teacher, and a political activist. Amiri Baraka was a poet that I looked to when I was researching on YouTube those nights, looking for just different poets who had a voice, who were not afraid to use their voice. And my MFA program in poetry, smack dab in the middle of New York City, and I got a really huge opportunity to take a course with his ex-wife. Her name was Hetty Jones. I was in her apartment, y'all. I had dinner with her with a group of just different MFA creatives, MFA writers who just wanted to hear more about Amiri Baraka. We heard so many just endearing stories about him, and I'm just so grateful. All right, you guys, so I want to end off every single segment of each writer with a quote, words directly that they said. Amiri Baraka's quote reads, "Art is whatever makes you proud to be human." All right, you guys, so the second Black writer that I have on my list is a woman, an amazing writer by the name of Zora Neale Hurston. Zora was born in 1891. She's famous for being a novelist, a short story writer, an essayist, a folklorist, and a researcher. Let's get it, Zora. Obviously, some of you guys might have heard of Zora Neale Hurston before because she is the author of the famous book that eventually became a famous movie, Their Eyes Were Watching God. I remember the first time I watched that movie. Obviously, the actors brought it to life, but it was incredibly important for me to pay attention to the storyline. There was so much depth in the story. So the most interesting thing that I actually found when I was researching Zora Neale Hurston was the fact that she was often a writer that was forgotten about. And it was so, I mean, it was like heartbreaking to find that that was one of the facts about her, but she was essentially lost to history. It's only recently, right, that her works and that her words are being recognized in this way. But I'm so glad that her works and that her words are now recognized on a national level, that people know about her, that people like me are researching her, Googling her because of the recognition that she is now receiving. All right, y'all, so Zora's quote reads, and I love this quote, it's phenomenal. "Sometimes I feel discriminated against, but it does not make me angry. It merely astonishes me. How can anyone deny themselves the pleasure of my company? It's beyond me." Y'all, that is a vibe, okay? How can people deny themselves my company, darling? Like, it's just that little amount of oomph that you could tell was a part of her personality, like this self-confidence and self-love that she had that just made me fall in love with her when I read that quote. All right, you guys, the third Black writer that I have on my list is the incomparable, the undeniable Toni Morrison, honey. She is one of my favorite writers. I cannot get enough of Toni. Toni had to make this list. Toni had to make this list, you guys. She was born in 1931 in Ohio, out of all places. Y'all, I'm from Ohio. She published her first book when she was 39. Y'all, when I found this fact, I was like, excuse me? Toni published her first book when she was 39. Don't you ever think that it is too late for you to do something. Don't you ever tell yourself that you are too old, that you are too inadequate, that you are too less of something to accomplish your dreams. If the Toni Morrison published her first book at the age of 39, then you can do whatever you put your mind to. Some of the works that she has published, Beloved, of course, Sula, The Bluest Eye. I think the way Toni Morrison uses Black characters in her writing is a love letter. I think it's her love letter to us. I think that the way she led her life, I think that the things she valued just in terms of believing in the human race was beautiful. Toni's quote, you guys, reads, "If there's a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it." So do it, y'all. Write the book, okay? Write the essay, okay? Publish the book. Do whatever it is that you need to do to honor our dearest Toni Morrison. Next up, number 4. Number 4 is the James Baldwin. I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else. If you are a part of the literary arts world and you do not know who James Baldwin is, you're missing out. James Baldwin was born in 1924 in Harlem, NY. Harlem, stand up. James Baldwin was most famous for his essays, his body of work, his interview. He has so many interviews where he was just really talking about the plight of the Black man, of the Black people in America. He is, I think, one of the most quoted, if not the most quoted, Black writers, authors in recent memory. His most famous essays were Notes of a Native Son, The Fire Next Time, If Beale Street Could Talk, which was adapted into a movie, and then I Am Not Your Negro was about his life. It was a documentary film that was actually done about his life and about his work. James Baldwin once wrote, the quote reads, and I'm paraphrasing here, "The primary distinction of an artist and art is to accurately depict and represent the state which most men avoid, and that is the state of being alone." What do y'all think about that? So James Baldwin is essentially saying in this quote that this state of being alone, being in solitude, is really where art and artists are found, right? Discover themselves, figure out the great wilderness of who we are, what makes us feel most alive, where we come from, who we are. These things, he says, this self-discovery is the primary role of being an artist. Not about creating art, not about putting things out into the world, but by being with ourselves, by falling in love with our solitude, and therefore can contribute to the artistic landscape. And y'all, James Baldwin's words in that quote is one of the major ways that I realize that creative writing, that poetry, that art is a great weapon that you can use to show up for yourself, to show up for your ability to hope, to fight, and even to strive. Next on the docket, number 5, y'all, we got Alice Walker in the house, okay? If you don't know who Alice Walker is, all I have to do is say The Color Purple. You told Hoppo to beat me. Alice Walker was born in 1944 in Eatonton, Georgia. She had an eye injury early on when she was younger. Her brother was playing with a BB gun and hit her in the right eye with one of the bullets of the BB gun. She sustained an eye injury, and because of that, she was extremely reclusive and just shy as a child, and really found solace in reading and writing as the things that she loved the most. It's important for me to let y'all know that she has multiple bodies of work, but that The Color Purple was her third novel, which translates to me, y'all, that she didn't give up. She kept writing. And of course, The Color Purple is the body of work that is nationally, widely recognized. Alice Walker has also written many novels, collections of poems, essays. She did it all. All right, y'all. Alice Walker's quote reads, "The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any." Come on, sis, let's go. All right, y'all, we made it to the end of the list. Number 6 on the list. I'd be crazy not to include this Black writer on our list. It is Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? The late great Langston Hughes is the last and final poet that is on our list of 6 Black writers. He was a poet, a social activist, a novelist, a playwright, and so much more. I think Langston Hughes is most known for his poetry, but he actually wrote all across different literary genres, and I don't think most people realize and understand that. He was known as a poet of the people, one of the leaders of the Harlem Renaissance movement. He was also rebellious, y'all. Like, he broke free from the Black literary establishment and just wrote so many essays and manifestos that I think young Black writers and artists look to as a guiding point of sorts. All right, you guys, Langston Hughes's quote reads, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly." Langston, you fly, okay? All right, you guys, so we have made it to the end of this video. Those are 6 Black writers, authors, poets, playwrights, essayists that you should certainly know about if you don't already know about them. One thing I realized as I was talking about everybody's stories is that all of them were activists in their own right, that their bodies of work served as little rebellions, if you will. So it's important not only for artists to create and to produce art, but to also reflect the times. So my question to you at the end of this video is, what does your art do? What does your writing do? What is the reasoning and the purpose behind why you are an artist and behind why you create or why you write? Comment down below. Let me know what your answer is. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button down below to join our writing community. Also, give this video a huge thumbs up if you genuinely enjoyed the content. If you enjoyed our discussion of getting to know these 6 Black writers, I encourage you and urge you to do some research on your own as well, because it is Black History Month, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. It's your girl Cynthia. I'm your favorite poet. See you in my next video. Bye.